Okay, so we got a pretty big 24-volt aircraft battery here that is basically just to supply the starter. I have two start relays. Basically, I put two of them in there so that I made sure I had enough amperage going to the starter to do it, and dual cables going up to the starter, and just to make sure that I had enough capacity to carry the cranking amps. Basically, the engine's pretty straightforward. The intake is down here, one of the intakes for the engine, and then there's another intake for the huffer compressor, or the air producing compressor, and then there's the outlet for the air producing compressor. That line will then go to the prop drives. So pretty basic engine. These guys here are the bypass for the huffer. So when you don't want to have air come out the huffer outlet, it bypasses it and just dumps it overboard. Got a 4 US gallon fuel tank with a boost pump assembly that makes about 5 psi. Just heading up a fuel line just to lift the fuel to the engine. I got a bypass line here so that if I'm pushing too much fuel to the engine, it'll just bypass back to the tank. It's a pretty cool little engine. It's got its own oil cooler, oil tank. Uses about half a liter of 2380 turbine fuel, or turbine oil. Fuel control and governor is down here. Fuel filter, oil filter. It's got a low oil pressure switch here. Fuel filter differential switch. And then basically this is the manifold for the prop drives. So the huffer outlet off the engine will eventually be connected to this via a flexible duct, and that will supply the 890 CFMs at 50 psi to spin the roots blower superchargers backwards to drive the propellers. And had to do a lot of wiring here to get it all working. I got an EGT indicator digital, and I have a RPM tach digital, and basically pretty basic master switch, circuit breakers for all the various functions, starter button, main fuel, boost pump, and igniter. So the start procedure is pretty straightforward. Master on. I have a low boost right now because the boost pump's not on, and I've got no oil pressure because the engine's obviously not turning. This location here will be a push to test for the caution lights. Shouldn't be a big problem. I haven't got that quite sorted out yet, but basically the start procedure is master on, boost pump on, boost pump fail, light goes out, ignition on, motor, main fuel, and that gives you your start. This is the damper control for the air producing compressor. So right now it's closed, so it's basically cavitating, and it still moves some air, but not as much as when it's open, obviously. So I think in the future, though, we're going to take this panel and make it a remote so that we're not standing so close to the beast when we're doing the testing with the propellers and all that stuff. So we'll probably fabricate the instrument panel for the craft and use it as a remote, and just disconnect it from the main cannon plug here and put a long length of cable on it so that we can stand a little bit more clear. But that's her.